Hi, I'm Naïma. Welcome back to my channel. The number one question that I've been asked in my comments since I started this channel is, what supplements are you taking and which ones work? Over the last 2 years since I've had long COVID, I have tried so many. There's still no clear treatment that has come out for long COVID, and taking supplements, maintaining a healthy diet, all feel like ways that we can take back control from this confusing illness. But when you're throwing so much at the problem and trying lots of different things at once, it's often hard to tell what's causing these improvements. Is it simply time, diet, changes to lifestyle, or are the supplements actually working? This is what I set out to find out in this video. I'll spend the first part of this video discussing supplements for long COVID on the whole, exploring things like what the benefits of supplements are and our body's ability to absorb them. In the second part of this video, I'll talk about all of the supplements that I've tried and I'll rate them on a scale of 1 to 3. Before we get into this, I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist by any means. I'm just someone who's trying to decipher as much as I can about long COVID in order to aid my recovery. So if you have any doubts about whether you should be taking certain supplements with your medication or whether you should be taking supplements at all, please consult your doctor. This is not medical advice. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new here. I try to make videos as often as I can, symptoms permitting. From early on in the pandemic, there were so many supplements that were being touted for managing acute COVID-19. Some of these include vitamin A, C, D, E, zinc, omega-3, probiotics, and this comes from research that is done to look at the impacts of those nutrients on acute respiratory infections. So at first it made sense for a lot of us with long COVID to take those, to try the same supplements that could help acute COVID-19. And like many of you, I have trawled the internet, support groups, looking for answers, trying to work out what supplements might help my long COVID recovery. I've consulted with doctors about what could help and whether my supplement cocktail might help me at all, only to be told by some doctors that it wasn't even clear if I could absorb the amount of supplements that I was taking. I was told by other doctors when they examined my blood tests that I had very few deficiencies, so I must be taking supplements. So this issue of whether this is helping or not seems to be quite contentious even within the medical community. And absorption is something that came up again and again in my research. What can we absorb? Throughout this research, I discovered that there are 2 things that impact absorption: gut health, medications, pathogens, and digestive components like stomach acid, digestive enzymes, and bile. All of these can impact absorption. The second thing is the vitamin or supplement itself. Is it water soluble or is it fat soluble? The formulation of the supplements, for example, are they gummies, powders, liquids, etc.? And the quality of the supplements themselves. Do they have extra fillers or additives? And then there are a few things that you can do yourself to make the supplements more effective. You can take them with food. When you're already eating, you trigger the digestive process in your body that help absorb nutrients from food. So this can optimize the absorption of vitamins and supplements. Secondly, ask a doctor how the supplements you're taking interfere with your medication, and ask when it's best to take which. Learn which of your supplements are fat soluble. For example, A, D, E, and K, where they can accumulate, can sometimes cause harm, whereas water soluble supplements like B vitamins, niacin, thomate, vitamin B6, and B12 and vitamin C are excreted in the urine. They can't build up in the body. So you have to do your own research to work out how best to take supplements and maximize their impact. Now I'm going to go through all of the supplements that I've tried and rate them on a scale of 1 to 3. 1 means that they worsened my symptoms. 2 means I did not notice a difference at all. And 3 means they provided some relief or I noticed some improvement in my symptoms. Again, please do your own research on what you need, and if you're not sure, speak to a doctor. I started off by throwing as many supplements that I could at this problem. I spent extortionate amounts and didn't really track what was helping me. But now I have a much more structured approach to this, where I introduce one supplement at a time. I test out its impact for 2 to 3 weeks before I introduce another. I've been taking vitamin D to support lung function and cardiovascular health. This one I have to rate a 2 out of 3 because I haven't really noticed anything. But then in my blood test results, I'm not getting vitamin D deficiency, which is a good sign. So I think it's there working in the background, but I can't comment on any improvement. The vitamin B complex. Vitamin B has a direct impact on energy levels, brain function, and metabolism. Again, I have to rate this 2 out of 3, but I keep taking this one. And zinc is the next one. This is a major player in the creation of DNA, growth cells, building proteins, and healing damaged tissue. Again, 2 out of 3 for this one. Next up, we have quercetin. This is a natural antihistamine. And this one I have to rate 3 out of 3 because I immediately noticed a slight improvement in my symptoms from taking this. And bromelain, another antihistamine, I noticed a difference in my fatigue levels, and I think it has an impact on my ability to digest food correctly. So these kind of fit into this issue of mast cell activation that many of us have with long COVID. So I have to rate bromelain a 3 out of 3 for when I was taking it. I took NAC, which is an antioxidant. It helps to protect and repair cells from damage. I have to rate this 2 out of 3. Did not notice anything for this, so I've stopped taking it because it's quite expensive. D-ribose is something I've mentioned on this channel before. It's used by athletes for performance. It's meant to improve ATP production, but it's also often used as a treatment for people with chronic conditions and energy deficits, such as chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. So this I have to rate 3 out of 3 because it really helped with my post-exertional malaise for a while. And I do notice that when I stop taking it, I get a lot more fatigue. It helps me to bounce back a bit quicker, but I try not to use this all the time. Loratadine. So this was an antihistamine that was prescribed to me by a doctor, part of a new protocol. And I know it's given a lot of relief to people with long COVID. It was prescribed loratadine and famotidine together as part of a new protocol to help with long COVID. And the combination of the two completely knocked me out. I didn't realize it at the time, but as soon as I started using it, I felt so fatigued to the point where my eyelids constantly felt like they were being weighed down. Everything felt like a long slog, and it already did. This was so extreme that I was just in bed. I couldn't do anything at all. Whereas normally I have periods where I can leave my bed and rest and do other things sitting down. This completely knocked me out. So this combination is 1 out of 3 for me. Probiotic, lastly, this is great for digestion. My digestive system does not work as well as it used to, and I have to rate this 3 out of 3 because it really helps. And there are a few others that I'm going to be testing over the next couple of months, but it's way too soon for me to comment on their effectiveness because I'm introducing them slowly one at a time, and some of them I've only been using for a week or 2, but I'll mention them briefly here. Nattokinase, this is a natural blood thinner that is quite common in Japan, and you can buy it as a capsule. I'm going to start taking that soon. I'm taking curcuma, ginger, and black pepper, all 3 of those things in one capsule, and this combination is meant to have really great anti-inflammatory properties. And lastly, I'm going to try astragalus root, which is something that is meant to support the immune system and which I've heard anecdotally has really helped people with chest pains. So that's what I'm looking to introduce over the next few weeks and months. Sometimes I wonder whether this trying of different supplements, different things, is just a way for me to attempt to take back control. But I think overall, when I find the right combination at the right time, it does support my recovery. What about you? What supplements, vitamins, minerals have helped you with your long COVID recovery? And how do you measure the impact? Because this is one of the difficult things. How do you know if things are working? If you like this video, there's another video on screen now that is all about autonomic dysregulation and ways that you can improve your dysautonomia. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.